user in DCM, and this is the user in Pure Cloud. That's the same user. It's linked through SSO. So if you just look at DCM, you would see this page if you log into DCM, and nothing more. We can hide the menus and we can do all kinds of cool stuff with that. But in this case, we have a case management system around email. So if I open up an email, there is an error, of course. Ah, this was working 10 minutes ago. Really? Ah, okay. Why is that not working? Okay, let me find another solution that works. No, it's not. No, that won't work. Sign on. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, here we are. Sorry. So I log in into Pure Cloud and into DCM automatically. We get emails, and emails create new cases for this customer. So I can go in and pick up an email. And now if I want to work on this email, I can do a pickup or a transfer of this email. And then what the integration does is that it creates an interaction that is being routed to me. So if I do a pickup, you see that I get a new interaction like an incoming phone call or an incoming email. And in this case, it's an email. And it shows the page on the email. Now I can reply on the email. I can do whatever I need to do on the email. But it's all linked to interactions in Pure Cloud. So Pure Cloud is all about routing interactions. And these interactions can be any type of email or SMS or text messages or voice messages. And when they do come in, we want to, for example, pop the CRM page for that customer. So if we recognize the phone number or the email address, the interaction comes into Pure Cloud. Pure Cloud recognizes the phone number. It sends a message to DCM to retrieve that specific customer, that specific customer page, the landing page for that customer. So for example, I can search here now manually. And what we do is that if we recognize that person, we can see all the previous cases that are linked to that person, all the previous emails that are linked to that person. If documents are there, we can see them. So here you see all the emails for that specific customer, also threaded. And the integration between this is partially done in the Pure Cloud API. So we embed the Pure Cloud API in our what we call premium app. So for example, if I want to do actions like pick up or transfer or something like that, that means it's a transfer in the Pure Cloud environment. Or it could be a transfer in Pure Connect or Pure Engage. So for example, if I hit transfer here, first I need to select where do I want to transfer this to which work group, and which wrap-up codes do I assign to that. As you can see here, this is all done in DCM, but it gets the information from Pure Cloud. So like the queues, they are defined in Pure Cloud. The wrap-up codes are defined in Pure Cloud. And through the integration, we pull that information into DCM so we can use that. I can transfer that. You see that the interaction is gone. I transfer the email out and we're gone. I was searching for that customer. The other thing I can do from here is create a new email. So if nothing comes in, nothing will happen. Now let's see if I go on queue, then I get emails automatically assigned to me. So if new emails come in Pure Cloud, we get the interaction being assigned to me as an agent. I pick up and it automatically loads the email that is received by Pure Cloud. I can close and disconnect, and what you will see again, I need to assign the wrap-up, do a submit, and the interaction is gone. No new interactions are waiting, so I'm happy. I'm waiting for new interactions to come in. In the meantime, I will start up the Pure Connect to see the same thing. Where are we? Hang on. So regardless of what platform of Genesys they use, whether it's Pure Cloud, Pure Connect, or Pure Engage, this embedded part for DCM all looks the same. That one is started, that one is started, that one is started. Okay. Start CIC. CIC is starting. So this is Pure Cloud on Pure Engage or Pure Connect. Let's see if we can find that. Starting. We have an integration service layer, which is connected between app-based/DCM and the Genesys platform. So we have 3 different integration servers, but they all have the same system calls and same input and output. So it's very easy to switch from platform on the Genesys side to DCM because the interfaces are all the same. That integration server runs within the domain either of the customer, where the Genesys platform runs, or it runs on the DCM instance. So that could be a Azure or a local instance of DCM on the customer side itself. Let's see, are we there yet? It's still starting. Interaction Connect. So this is Interaction Connect. No, it's still, the server is still starting. So I don't know what your role will be in this one. Are you working for the customer? Are you working for Ascentex? How should I see this? And how should we provide you with information that is helpful for you to move forward?
Yeah, it's a great question. Nobody knows. So you know how it's done typically.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Yeah, so it's kind of unknown unknowns. But so if you don't mind, what I would like, to ask you really quickly.
Sure.
So this is like custom interface, right? So can you help our guys to understand the difference between what is included out of the box and what is custom, and maybe how these 2 things are communicating to each other? So for instance, in your previous example, when you demonstrated pure cloud, right? Yeah. So obviously shell and like left part belongs to pure cloud. So that's pretty much like sophisticated chat application, right? Right side is completely custom. So the expectation is that majority of their work would be to create these custom components, like custom web pages, custom REST services. So if you can really quickly outline how to integrate custom UI with pure cloud, it would be great.
Yeah, so basically this is configured in DCM, in app-based DCM. So if I would open up the DCM itself, you will see the same thing. So H&M, this one. This is a standard app-based DCM solution. So everything we do here, like the dashboards, and if we configure cases and case types and forms and stuff like that, that's all basically done in DCM. And what we do in Pure Cloud is that we can, based on the interaction that we get in, we pop a specific page from DCM. So in the Pure Cloud case, there is a listener in Pure Cloud that listens into the user queue. So if an interaction comes in here, we recognize that interaction. We recognize, for example, the email address or the phone number, and we can do a lookup in the CRM part of DCM. Based on that, we can either do a pop for a specific case, or we can pop the customer screen, or basically any page in DCM we can pop based on an incoming interaction. How that works, that is depending on the platform itself. So for Pure Cloud, what we have, what they call are custom attributes. So when an email comes in or a phone call comes in, we or the customer normally attaches data to that phone call or to that email object. And based on that email object, we can read the attributes and determine which page we need to pop from the DCM side. So as you can see, this is just straight login into DCM. I can basically do everything here, what I can do on, so I can open up a page in here. The same thing as I can do in here. I can open up emails. I can open up basically anything that I can do in DCM, I can do here as well, because this is DCM embedded in an iframe. But based on the API for Pure Cloud, we can attach buttons that call that API for Pure Cloud. So in Pure Cloud, this iframe can be approached through the code behind these buttons. So if I go here and I go, for example, to the setup of such a page, so for example, on that email page, we have a transfer button and a pickup button. If I look at the code, this is JavaScript, I just call a function that says, okay, in the client app, that's how we name that iframe where DCM is running. On that client app, I want to do assign direct to user or create an interaction or activate a conversation. I can call some web services that interact with the Pure Cloud environment. And by the way, these functions are the same whether I use Pure Connect, Pure Cloud, or Pure Engage, but based on the difference in the integration server that is running beneath it, it makes the right calls to the platform of Genesys. So here, this function, client app assign direct to user or activate a conversation or create a new interaction. That will trigger an event in Pure Cloud, in this case, to create a new event. So this is all done. This is basic DCM app-based technology. What you need to do as an integrator is say, okay, what do we want to display when a phone call comes in, or when we do an outbound call, or when an email comes in, or whatever the case is that the customer wants to see. So for example, for Expo Bank, they are calling external contacts. They are calling their customers. So they are feeding Pure Engage with a contact list that is created out of DCM. So DCM has that the capability of having all that customer detail information, customer records, CRM system. So they can create, based on all the customer information they have, they can create a contact list. That contact list is then sent through the integration server into Engage, into their dialing system. And their dialer starts dialing these records. Once that record is being assigned to an agent on the desktop, whether that's Connect or Cloud or Engage, he gets a new interaction coming in. And when he accepts that, we load the according CRM page of DCM in that screen. So let's see if my interaction is now ready. Yeah. So what you see here, this is the interface for Pure Connect. That's another platform of Genesys. Same thing, they have the workspace of DCM. And now, for example, if I start sending, let's see if that works. Interaction. I'm going to create a new interaction. So I'm starting a chat. And it's coming into the interface of Pure Connect. Why is this connecting to the sandbox? Oh, funny days. Why is this? Okay. This isn't going to work. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not well prepared with all the systems being down. Let's try another one. Why? This is not my lucky.
Yeah, so anyway, Frank, I think that it's okay. So don't worry. Sometimes it's just not working.
Yeah.
It's just fine. Yeah. So guys, just to summarize what you saw, right? So what we would be discussing tomorrow, we will talk about how to create this web application so we can have custom web application, whether it's DCM or like totally brand new application that can be incorporated in this right side. So maybe while you're here, Frank, do you know how to configure this rule in Pure Cloud? Where to point that static application and how to define URI, like admin?
Yeah. So in Pure Cloud, you have what they call integrations. So if you have the rights, you can go to the integrations, and as a syntax, we have an integration called the Premium app, the DCM Premium app, as you can see here, as a client app. So you can install that if you have the rights to do so. And then, so for example, if I take the example that we just did, IGS, you need to specify where that integration is installed. Normally that's on the sandbox or on a server where DCM is installed. so the DCM app-based server. If I take another one, DCM here. Oh, new DCM pre-map. So it's a matter of pointing it to the right instance, and then it will show up in here. That's the short version. Of course, you need to have security and have rights, and the application itself to embed that in Pure Cloud is a integration that you need to install. So normally we will help the customer of doing that. So you can add a new integration here in Pure Cloud for the customer. And as you can see here, that the service journey connector, that's the one from Syntax, is part of the what you can call the App Store or the App Foundry for Genesys. So our integration, our DCM integration is this one, and you need to install that in your Pure Cloud environment. Once you have that, you go to the integrations itself. It shows up like this one, and then you can configure it. Okay, to which instance does it need to be connected to? So you have an instance of app-based DCM running, and that's where we normally install the integration server as well. And that's where you configure this link to point it to. Then it shows up in here. And then it loads the application itself. Does that make sense so far?
Yep.
Okay. So normally that's something we do together with the customer or the partner to do that. Also for Genesys Engage and Pure Connect, we will help with that to set that up. It's not something that you take out of the box, plug it in, and it works, because there is some configuration that needs to be done on the Genesys Engage cloud. On the Genesys side, there needs to be some configuration on the DCM side, and there needs to be some configuration depending on the platform, as you can see here, because here it's an App Foundry app that you can add, but for Pure Connect it works slightly different, and for Genesys Engage it works slightly different as well. So it depends on the platform, but basically there is a separate add-in that will be loaded into the platform, and there's an integration server that we need to install somewhere in the customer environment. And as you can see, you can have in Pure Cloud, you can have multiple and Pure Connect, you can have the same things. Pure Cloud Interaction Connect, it's just a different interface. Log into Genesys Engage or Genesys Pure Connect. And I'm not sure, there's something wrong today. I'm not sure why this is all not working correctly, but this is luckily all internal. So, any other questions?
Can you maybe last thing that I want to ask you, and again, thank you so much for your time. Can you show example of like C# code, how we call, let's say, Pure Engage or Pure Cloud, doesn't matter, API?
Sure. So from DCM, you mean?
Well, so do you remember like custom integration service that you created?
Yeah.
That was hosted on your kitchen server.
Yeah.
So if you can really quickly like demonstrate a basic principle. So what I want to outline is that it's pretty much like REST API, maybe SOAP API, right? So it's nothing, yeah, nothing specific here, but.
Okay, so basically the integration server is a SOAP /REST API. So Most of them are SOAP calls. Now, if that is installed, you get all these system calls that you can call from any system, not only from Pure Cloud, Pure Connect, or Pure Engage, but also from your customer backend systems or from DCM. So, for example, if I want to get the users from the Genesys platform, I get a list. If I want to create a new interaction or want to route something or start a chat or get the dashboard, get the context, get a specific page in DCM to load, all these functions are here in that integration server, which can be called either from DCM or external applications. So in DCM itself, let's see, on the rules. So if we, for example, want to route something as a result of an action I do in DCM. So for example, I want to create a new email. Then I want to create an interaction that is being routed on the Genesys platform. So we have rules. Go to the Pure rules. Pure create task. Pure Cloud create task. So this is a DCM C# rule. And this rule calls the integration server. So here I built my SOAP envelope with all the information I need for routing it through a pure cloud environment. So that's some DCM data, the task name, case name, IDs, built a SOAP. And then I just call that routine or that web service with that data. So this calls the integration server I just showed, calls this one, create task. Where is it? Pure Cloud launch task. As you can see here, I need all the endpoints, code string. So this is the endpoint, this is the integration server, which is being called from here. So here you can see the same thing. I'm providing the endpoint, the code, the domain, case name, and then the action is, where is it? Launch task. And that calls this integration server launch task. We get a result back, probably like an interaction ID or conversation ID. We take that back. We can do, we can store that in DCM if we want to, or whatever we need to do. But this is an example of calling that through a C# rule out of DCM. But I can use SOAP UI to call these servers as well. I can have a backend system, like maybe a financial system, where if invoices are not paid on time, they create a task to be routed to an agent to call a customer why they haven't paid or what the issue is. Or if things, the trigger can be from any system. It doesn't have to be from DCM or Pure Cloud. It can be from any system to create interactions in DCM and into that Genesys platform. So this is one SOAP request. Some functions are based on REST API, which can be called through a REST integration. We're pretty flexible in how that works. Does that give you an idea, Sergey?
Yeah, so that's pretty much what we probably wanted to see. So yeah, so this is helpful.
Yeah, and building custom interfaces and custom UI, that is done in DCM itself. You probably know more about that, Sergey, than I do, and how you build proper pages and then layouts and stuff like that. That's just standard DCM.
Yep. All right. So I think it's great material for us to start from this point. So thank you. Yeah, I think we'll be good.
Yeah, if you have any questions or if you're in contact with a prospect or customer, you can engage me. I can help out explaining things or doing a better demo than today, but show how that works, how it can look like potentially.
Sure. Yeah, no worries. Thank you. Thank you, Frank.
Okay, cool. Any other questions? Okay.
All right. Have a good day. Thank you.
Okay.
My pleasure speaking to you
Okay.
again.
Same here.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks.